You're watching Eagle News. I'm Ken Cruz in Fort Washington. Produced by Eagle Broadcasting Corporation, Daily Insight Home Edition is a 30-minute online show that's a source of news in business and technology, inspirational stories behind small and medium enterprises, and useful advice on starting your own business. The light yet informative discussions with our guests are sure to feed the viewers with tips on how to manage their businesses in these interesting times. Joining us this evening are the hosts of Daily Inside Home Edition. Thank you for being here, Mayanne Manzano-Guarzon in Sicklerville, New Jersey, and Randy Bernardillo in Las Vegas, Nevada. Welcome, guys.
Thank you, Ken, for having us.
Long time no see, man. Maybe like 10 minutes ago. You started Daily Insight in 2016 when Facebook Live was beginning to gain popularity. Randy, tell us more about that, the origins.
Well, FB Live, it was a very new platform for us that we weren't really familiar with. At the time, FB Live wasn't really a source for shows, but EBC was one of the first networks to start using FB Live regularly, especially in reporting breaking news. Plus, people were starting to use social media as the source for their news. So that's how the idea came about of putting Daily Insight on FB Live. We could reach a larger audience of people, we could connect with them, especially through the live comments. This was useful for people who had questions for our guests who are small and medium business owners. They could ask how to start a business, where to apply for a business license, and they'd have all those questions answered on the spot while they review it.
Well, I'm curious. I know that, just based off of my friends list, the Philippines viewers are very heavy on Facebook. I'm guessing that was the case also for Facebook Live. Is that right, Randy?
Yes, a lot of Filipinos use Facebook more than any other social media platform. It's built usually into their phone service plans, and so a lot of it is free data. And so that's where they get their news, not the other big networks.
I found out the secret. I always wondered. I was like, internet is at a premium over in the Philippines. How are these guys always on Facebook?
Yes.
Now I know. So the show, it's a business show, and it's friendly to small and medium-sized businesses. Man, how'd your show become the talk of the town among young entrepreneurs?
Yes, Ken, we got lucky. Our very first guests were members of the Young Entrepreneur Society in the Philippines. So from there, they basically connected us with their friends and other business owners until we became a part of a larger network of young entrepreneurs. So it was like a networking. So one guest would have more young entrepreneur friends that would connect us to, and then they would be our next guests for our next episodes.
So it was literally not what you know, but who you know, right? In this case, right?
Yes.
And it seems like you guys know a lot of people who know a lot of people. So season 1 had 100 episodes. Randy, tell us about the 100-episode journey.
It was tough. If I could summarize it into just one word, Mayanne and I, we started from scratch. So we would write the scripts for every episode. We contacted all of the guests. It was a team of 2 people, and it's still a team of 2. It's been a long journey, but it's something that we've adapted to and really grown to love.
Yeah, so I mean, what's a specific situation during the first 100 that you remember? You're just like, man, this is challenging. I don't know how we're going to do this, but you were able to do it.
Our first celebrity guest that we had was Anthony Taberna. He's a news anchor, and we interviewed him at his restaurant because he's also an entrepreneur and in the restaurant business. And just being in the presence of someone who is professional in the news industry, I got kind of starstruck, and so I was just like looking with fan eyes there.
Do you remember what episode that was? So that if we want to just look it up and see how nervous you were, we can do that.
No. But if you do wanted to look it up, it's on Eagle News Facebook page.
Perfect. All right. So for all the fans watching there, you know where to see Randy at his best. So now that you guys are back on EBC as Daily Insight Home Edition, Mayan, what can your viewers expect from this new season?
Well, yes, Ken, for this new season, this is, we are going international. Before, our guests were all based in the Philippines because that's where our studio was in EBC Maine. But now with the home edition, where our homes are our studios, we can interview entrepreneurs from all over the world. This will be very helpful for our viewers who are watching from different countries, and they can be able to relate to the stories and experiences that our guests share on the show.
Well, I'm curious, what's the biggest difference so far with entrepreneurs based in the Philippines and entrepreneurs that are global?
Well, entrepreneurs based in the Philippines, the young entrepreneurs who were mostly our guests, they were very small, and the market was very specific to the area where they're from. Now that we are meeting, interviewing business owners here abroad, it seems like their network is bigger, and now that online business is more, or e-commerce is more prevalent, it's now bigger because they can reach to more customers and more followers as well.
Interesting. Randy, so who do you invite as resource persons for the show, and why these people?
We usually invite small business owners to share their advice as to how they started. A lot of our viewers want to put up their own businesses, but they don't really know where to begin. So through our interviews, our viewers get to hear tips that have worked for other entrepreneurs. And we also invite other professionals who are knowledgeable in their field. We've had accountants, psychologists, real estate brokers, really people from many different industries. So some of our viewers who are looking for career advancement, these interviews showcase the resources that are available to them.
Awesome. And during this time of the pandemic, man, how does the show Daily Insight play a part in contributing to the fight against COVID-19?
That's a great question, Ken. Right now, entrepreneurs and professionals are struggling as a result of the pandemic. Their businesses are taking a hit from the economic downturn. Now, Daily Insight will keep them informed of the latest business news and developments to help them in a way recover. And also, our guests are experiencing the same thing. They are in the same situation. We all are. So when we share the stories of our guests, we hope to inspire our viewers that there is a community out there that is willing and want to help them.
So follow-up question to earlier. I know I asked Randy what was the most challenging time for you in the initial 100 episodes. How about yourself? What's been the most challenging or memorable situation that you've been in while filming this show?
Well, Ken, I would say, one of my most memorable experiences also that episode with Katuning or Anthony Taberna. But in general, the most challenging part is when we guest someone who's into a business that we don't really, or we're not really familiar with. But sometimes we need to research on that kind of business so that our questions, the guests, would really make sense. So, it's tough because we're not business students. We were in law school during that time when we were doing the first episode of, or first season of Daily Insight. So when for example, when a guest would talk about the cryptocurrency, stock market, we would just really need to study before that.
Well, you just gotta let the pros be pros, right? And I understand that 100%. And you guys, be pros, have been doing it very well. What do you look forward to as far as filming this new season, this home edition of the show, Mayan and/or Randy?
Randy?
Well, I think so far we've only aired maybe 5 episodes, but to see the people that we've already touched, after watching some of the videos, people have already contacted us directly. For example, about managing anxiety while working at home. That's something that a lot of people are facing. And to know that the show that we do, the interviews that we have, has a positive effect on people is so rewarding and so beneficial for us. And we're all the more encouraged to do this show.
Speaking of encouragement and rewards, what's your insight for the day, Randy?
My insight is something that everyone can do. It is to get physical exercise. So right now in quarantine, we might be in sedentary at home. Personally, I've been doing a lot of walking. The other day, I think I walked 10 miles. So I realized that I actually get my best ideas when I go out for a walk. So maybe, I don't know, maybe it's the blood that goes to my brain that gets the wheels turning in my head. I don't know. So my insight for entrepreneurs who are brainstorming is to go out for a walk. Who knows? Maybe that's where you'll get your next big idea.
I think that blood rush might be the 120-degree weather over there in Vegas. So you might want to make sure that you're well hydrated.
Well, I usually do my walks now on the treadmill with the AC.
Well, it makes sense. I mean, I would not step outside either way. So if I were in your shoes. So for our viewers, man, please tell us when and where we can see your show. Give us the plug.
Yes, and for Daily Insight Home Edition, please tune in to Eagle News YouTube channel every Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 9 in the morning Eastern Time.
Awesome. And then before we leave, what's the next episode that we can expect?
The next episode is about a special education teacher and how she's adjusting to distance learning. So stay tuned for that on Wednesday morning.
Appreciate it, guys. Thank you so much for joining us on the show.
Thank you for having us, Ken.
Yeah.